If there's one thing every great anime needs, it's a memorable villain, someone who challenges the hero not just in strength, but also in mind and heart. Today, we're diving deep into the world of the most powerful anime villains. From master manipulators to destructive gods, this list will show why these antagonists are so feared. Before we start, a quick note, this list isn't just about brute strength but the overall impact of these villains. Whether through absolute power or psychological control, each one left their mark. And if you disagree or remember another incredible villain, drop a comment below so we can discuss it. Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha redefined the meaning of threat in Naruto. As the leader of the legendary Uchiha clan, he was already feared, but it was his resurrection during the Fourth Great Ninja War that revealed his true power. With the Rinnegan, he could use forbidden techniques like the Outer Path and summon meteors. And we can't forget his perfect Susanoo, a gigantic armor capable of crushing entire armies. Even legendary heroes like Hashirama had to give their all to defeat him in the past. His impact is so immense that, to this day, he's remembered as one of the greatest villains in anime history. Meruem. Meruem, the king of the Chimera Ants, isn't just a powerful villain, he's an incredibly complex character. His birth marked the beginning of a new era in Hunter x Hunter, with him quickly proving to be the strongest being in the world. But what truly sets him apart is his evolution. Even with overwhelming strength, capable of defeating any opponent with ease, he wasn't limited to brute force. His intelligence, strategy, and philosophy made him unique. His fight with Netero was a landmark, a clash of physical and ideological power, showing that Meruem wasn't just a monster but someone who reflected deeply on his existence. In the end, he demonstrated that even the most powerful villains can possess a deeply human essence. Shigaraki Tamura. Shigaraki Tamura started as an awkward villain but transformed into a global threat in My Hero Academia. His quirk, Decay, initially only destroyed what he directly touched, but after brutal training, he became capable of disintegrating everything around him in seconds. Beyond his physical power, Shigaraki carries emotional weight that makes him a deeply tragic villain. His story of abuse and loss led him to want to destroy the world as a form of vengeance. He's not just a destructive force but also a symbol of what happens when society ignores those most in need of help. Death. Death is the type of villain you love to hate. With immense strength and abilities bordering on divine, she's a ruthless warrior who lives by the philosophy that the strong survive, and the weak perish. Her Taigu, which allows her to manipulate ice, goes far beyond basic attacks. She can create armies, freeze seas, and even stop time. What truly makes Death stand out is her personality. Despite her brutality, she's a layered character, from her blind devotion to the Empire to her unexpected love for Tatsumi. This duality makes her a fascinating villain, as physically strong as she is emotionally complex. Aizen Sosuke. Aizen Sosuke is the definition of a strategic villain. From the very beginning of Bleach, he manipulated events and people, moving them like pieces on a chessboard. His Zanpakuto, Kyoka Suigetsu, creates perfect illusions, deceiving even the most powerful enemies. But what truly places him on this list is his ambition. Aizen aimed to overthrow the gods and become the supreme being, coming dangerously close to achieving it. He fought against all of Soul Society and was only defeated through the extraordinary sacrifices of Ichigo and Urahara. Even in defeat, he remains one of anime's most iconic and powerful villains. Ryomen Sukuna. Ryomen Sukuna, the king of curses, is a villain whose presence dominates Jujutsu Kaisen. Even sealed within Itadori Yuji, he's an immensely dangerous force, effortlessly destroying enemies and wielding techniques like domain expansion. His sadistic and unpredictable personality makes him a terrifying villain because you never know what he'll do next. Sukuna isn't a villain seeking redemption or a noble goal, he's pure malice and destruction, making him one of the most striking villains of the new generation of anime. Kaguya Otsutsuki. Kaguya Otsutsuki transcends the limits of the shinobi world. As the first being to wield chakra, she's practically a goddess. Her return in Naruto Shippuden revealed the origin of ninja power and introduced a threat so immense that even the greatest heroes had to unite to face her. What makes Kaguya terrifying is her absolute control over space-time. She can open portals to different dimensions, alter the environment to her advantage, and unleash devastating attacks like the expansive truth-seeking ball, which can erase everything from existence. Her introduction at the end of the series was controversial, but there's no denying that her power is off the charts. Father. Father is the embodiment of unchecked ambition. Originally a small being known as the Dwarf in the Flask, he manipulated events in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood to achieve his ultimate goal, becoming a god. His plan to use the inhabitants of Amestris's sacrifices to open the gate of truth was as brilliant as it was terrifying. When he finally absorbed God, he became an almost omnipotent entity, capable of bending reality to his will. But like any great villain, his arrogance and inability to understand human values were his downfall. Even so, his presence and power make him one of anime's most impressive villains. Frieza. Frieza is the ultimate villain of Dragon Ball. He set the standard for antagonists in the series and beyond. From his first appearance, Frieza showed no limits, destroying entire planets and massacring his enemies without remorse. The pinnacle of his evil was the destruction of Namek, an act that marked anime history. Even after being defeated, he continued to evolve, with transformations like his golden form in Dragon Ball Super. Frieza isn't just strong, he's a strategist, cruel, and utterly devoid of morality, making him one of the greatest villains in anime history. Zeno. Finally, at the top of the list, who else but Zeno? Despite his childlike appearance and carefree demeanor, Zeno is the most powerful being in Dragon Ball Super and arguably the entire anime multiverse. With a simple gesture, he can erase entire universes. No technique, strength, or intelligence can challenge him. Even villains like Frieza and heroes like Goku are terrified in his presence. What's most unsettling is that he doesn't seem to grasp the weight of his actions, making his absolute power even more dangerous. Zeno isn't a traditional villain, but his power and influence make him the most terrifying being we've ever seen. These were the 10 strongest villains in anime, each with unique abilities and stories that make them unforgettable. Do you agree with this list? Which one do you think is the most powerful? Share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. See you in the next video.